Well, our top story tonight, in a big blow to Union Minister Dayanidhi Maran, the CBI today implicated him in the 2G scam, telling the Supreme Court that as Telecom Minister earlier, Mr. Maran deliberately sat on Aircel's license application despite a unanimous recommendation by Telecom officials. The CBI also said there was an element of coercion in the way Mr. Maran dealt with Aircel and the manner in which Aircel was sold to the Malaysia-based company Maxis. Well, Sunetra Chaudhary has been following that story very closely and joins me now. Firstly, Sunetra, what exactly is Mr. Maran's role in all of this and what's really been his defense?
Well, CBI is actually looking at two of his two cases against him, but I'll just tell you very quickly about the one that has come up in Supreme Court today. That's the one about Aircel deal, where CBI totally listed out the allegations, and they have said in its allegations is that Aircel owner C. Siva has alleged that Maran forced him to sell his stake into Maxis, and after that basically he sat on them until the time he sold it. He sat on the file and did not. CBI says these are allegations that they're listing out, and they have just told Supreme Court that they're probing him. However, they're working on getting more evidence against him. CBI also told the court all the various people who have testified against Dayanidhi Maran. One of them being C. Shivashankaran, that's the former owner of Aircel himself. Second, very interestingly, the top telecom secretary at that time, that's Nripendra Mishra, his thing as well, where he says that at that time where he says that Maran asked him, what's the hurry? Why should he give spectrum to Aircel so soon? Nidhi?
All right, I think, Sunetra, your cell phone is buzzing as well, so I'll ask you to quickly turn that off before I come to the next question, which is really the political question. Now, we know that the Prime Minister and Sonia Gandhi had a meeting. This evening there was a core committee meeting, and what we're hearing is that they really put off a decision on Maran's future because they're going to consult the DMK first. Now, why has it been so difficult? You cover the Congress as well. Why has it been so difficult yet again, for the Prime Minister to take a position on this?
Well, it's something, what's really interesting is what's coming out of the Congress core group is very simple. They're saying that they have discussed it. So the fact that it's on the cards, the fact that the reshuffle and whether Maran being dropped has been talked about a lot. However, what our sources tell us is they're just stopping short of taking a decision, and they also would like to consult their ally DMK on this position. One thing which is certain is that when they took the decision and went ahead with sacking A. Raja, at that time the CAG report had come out and said very clearly that they had very clearly indicted A. Raja. In this case, just remember that it's not an FIR yet. CBI hasn't gone to court and said we have evidence. They're saying that these are allegations, and what the government's defense is privately what they're saying is that at the moment these are allegations made by one person, that's Shivashankaran, and the CBI hasn't even registered an FIR. Perhaps that's the reason, but of course the government playing it very cautious. But what's really become clear that it's become it's totally become untenable for Maran to stay on. It's perhaps in the 2G case, he's the first sitting minister who's facing a probe and who's being named in CBI's status report to Supreme Court.
All right, Sunetra, let's see how that plays out politically. Thanks a lot for joining us with that. And that is our question tonight. Is Dayanidhi Maran's position in the cabinet untenable now? What do you think? Do send us your feedback. And we are joined by the spokespersons of both the Congress and the BJP tonight. We have Jayanti Natarajan, Congress spokesperson, who joins us from Chennai, and Tarun Vijay, the national spokesperson of the BJP, who joins us from here in the capital. Jayanti ji, what is the Congress's view on this? You've already been hurt very badly by everything that happened with A. Raja. There was a lot of criticism that the Prime Minister didn't act on time in that case. What do you think? Do you think that Mr. Maran should resign on his own? What would you do if you were in his shoes?
I contest any statement that the Prime Minister did not act on time on any issue regarding corruption. If you remember, Nidhi, the CAG report was actually leaked when, before the session of Parliament was due in the case of Mr. Raja, and Mr. Raja resigned immediately. And I would go so far as to assert that this government has taken far more action on stopping corruption than any other government, notably the BJP government, for example, in Karnataka and in other places. And therefore, I think our actions are evident.
In this many case, of those actions have been after the Supreme Court intervened. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Dayanidhi Maran. What do you think he should do, given that he's been named in the CBI status report to the Supreme Court today? Do you feel he should just step down and take responsibility?
No, Nidhi. No, clearly I cannot speak for Mr. Maran. I only want to assert that this government has always stood for a fight against corruption of any kind, and action is being taken in a transparent way and in a way that the entire country can see. More than that, I believe that the government will make clear.
But do you believe, as the party which is heading this government, that on moral grounds this minister should step down now or should be asked to leave? I know it's a difficult question for you to answer, but I'm still asking.
I want to repeat that this government has done far more to fight corruption than any other government has been doing in the past or is doing now, state or central.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.